Telegram and WhatsApp, all these social media platforms are going to have payment systems in them, and they're all going to be based off the Stellar network. So you're going to see Telegram with a payment system. X is going to have a payment system. WhatsApp already has a payment system. It's in China already. So you're going to see this. So it's going to be very easy for people.
Welcome to the Elite Few podcast, where we explore the fabulous, extraordinary world of the people who move the needle of success. Join our host Tiffany and producer Kyle as we dive into the stories and insights of the elite few who are making a difference and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Let's get started.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Elite Few podcast. I'm the producer, Kyle Goodnight, along with my host, Tiffany.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Well, today we've got a very special episode again. We've got our first repeat guest, which is going to be awesome for us because we're finally getting into repeat guests. This is great. But before we get into introducing him again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to this show and you know somebody that needs to hear this, don't hesitate. Share this show with them, whether that be on Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. We're on all the platforms. Just look for The Elite Few and you'll find us. So Tiffany, go ahead and introduce our repeat guest today again, and let's get into it.
Well, I'm so excited that we have Dom Pesce back here again today talking about the Stellar Network and our Lobstr wallet. And I want to update everybody to find out what's in your wallet because we've got some great new information coming up. And if you haven't jumped in yet in the Stellar market, this is the time to do it. Get on, get a Lobstr wallet going, get a Stellar wallet. Dom's going to tell you a lot of stuff that's going on. There's so many new improvements happening right now. Dom, why don't you let us know what they're doing with the new and upcoming thing and how we're like pretty soon this is all going to flip over.
Yeah. So we're looking at November, December, where the NDAs are going to be starting to be lifted and there'll be public confirmation of this by the banks. And what we're going to have is a influx of liquidity into the Stellar network right now, because it's so small in terms of the number of wallets. There's not a lot of liquidity in there, but they're actually starting to open up more of the banking government monies that will be funding into the Stellar network.
Okay.
So it's going to be very interesting. Now in the last podcast that we had, I sort of talked about some other blockchains that will all be coming into Stellar. And one of them was XRP, which has made news. It's Ripple is the company that has issued XRP. Now XRP, people think that it's going to go to high levels like Bitcoin. And so there was some new information that was brought to my attention. And the information is that it's really an institutional token that's used for liquidity. So the thought that it's going to be $50,000 or $100,000 really isn't a viable option for that, because it's really, you're going to see XRP's value, it's about 60 cents right now, and XLM, which is the Stellar network's Lumen, that's about 12 cents. You're going to see a change in that ratio. So you're going to see XLM go up higher than XRP because it's a smaller blockchain, and it's not going to be it's going to be needed, but only for institutional things. Whereas the Stellar network with the XLM is more for the people doing cross-border payments. So that's going to have a really high value. And the other thing I was going to talk about, and this was important, is that if you're investing in XRP, which is fine, if you want to do that, that's fine. You can get a lot more value for money out of XLM because it's within the network, and you can buy stocks, bonds, commodities, real estate. That's one of the things that's happening in the Stellar network. as I was watching some of the financial news online today, they were talking about Grayscale. Grayscale is a company that manages over, I think it's 700 million Bitcoin. And they also manage 17 different crypto exchanges. So they just got into a fight with the SEC about a year ago. They were in a lawsuit, and they won the lawsuit. The SEC is filed in, as of October 13th, we'll find out whether or not they're going to go to the Supreme Court. What that says is that that these crypto firms with their crypto exchanges have to be regulated. So what you're going to see is a lot of these exchanges are going to be pushing their money into the Stellar network. There's bridging on-ramps into Stellar. So it's really, really important if you have different types of crypto to really look at what you have on exchanges, if they're backed by anything, and knowing that everything's going to be bridged into Stellar, you're going to see a huge change in the valuation of these things. So just be aware of that. I just really want to tell people, it's a very good idea to at least get yourself at least initiated into Stellar and look at the Lobstr wallet. There's several other wallets out there. There's Stellar Term, there's Scopely. It's all basically inside of the Stellar network. And it's just a reflection of what's on and in the blockchain. It's all data. If you think of it as data, that's what it is. So those were the things that I wanted to talk about that are new. Do you have any questions about that, you guys?
I do. So here's where I want to hit first. If everything's going to be financed for that, you can buy stocks, you can get loans, you can do all of that through there. Here's my question. Wouldn't we still need a financial advisor or somebody involved? Because I even don't know how to navigate that world on my own at this point. Even though I have mutual funds and annuities and everything's protected and nobody can get it if they sue me, like I've got everything locked down and guarded. But it doesn't matter because I have no clue. I don't know where to get it, how to move it, anything.
Okay. So we were talking about two different systems. One of the systems is centralized, which is what you have. You're basically in a centralized system, Wall Street, etc. What Stellar is a decentralized system where you have access to everything in your portfolio at any time, 24/7, 365. So you're able to, within that network, buy stocks, buy bonds, and trade within that. So you're worried about people getting to your, stocks, et cetera, your annuities. Well, the government can pull that at any time. In a decentralized wallet, nobody has access to that except for you. So you're looking at a larger portion of being able to be taxed, being able to get things stolen from you. Wall Street can be ruthless. Your managers, your financial managers, can direct you in that environment, which is the old system. Whereas in the new environment, you can go online once all the disclosure comes out about this and actually participate in what they call the Stellar Decentralized Exchange, or SDEX. And what that is it's a listing of all the different assets that are on Stellar. And there's well over 100,000 of them now. And there will be millions of them because everybody's going to be going to the system, because you have to realize that self-banking and utilizing interest that is paid out on an APY basis, annual percentage rate on a year. So you get something every day as opposed to having it on a yearly basis, an APR rate, which is very slow. It's very old school. And you're getting rid of all of those players like wealth managers, financial advisors, because you're basically getting your sovereignty back to do all this stuff. Now, understanding all of that, well, we know what the big players are. If you looked on the stock market, there's Apple, there's Microsoft, there's Fidelity, there's Vanguard, all these different things. They're all on and going to be on the blockchain. So right now they're doing what they call ICOs, which is an initial coin offering for these companies. And when you get in on an early, early buy-in on it, you're going to be able to get more for the value of everything because there's no liquidity in it right now. So you can buy these tokens and actually do quite well. So for, let's say, one XLM, which is about 12 cents, you could get anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 tokens, which will be shares of that particular stock. So imagine getting Apple for under $1, and you've got several $1,000s of it already. So when you get in early, you're able to fund this transition. And the reason why they're giving it out so cheap is they're testing this system. They have to make sure that everything works correctly before they bring it in. So if you think of it as a bridge, they don't necessarily take a bridge that's broken and fix it right there because the traffic stops on both ways. So they just kind of do a little detour around it. They build a temporary bridge and they figure out what's wrong with that original bridge, and then they rebuild the bridge. So if you think about it in that sense, they're building bridges from these different platforms over into Stellar. And what that allows is it allows for any type of code that is not perfect to be perfected, and the developers of these different assets can see exactly what works and what doesn't work. And by getting in the early stages of this, you're helping them. You're getting a value for your help. So you're in there and you're buying and selling things, and you're saying, oh, okay, this works. All right, I like this. You'll see values go up and down because they're in the background, they're working with the data to make sure it's secure. Because when they onboard 8 million people, or 8 billion people, 8 billion, because everybody's going to be doing this. You got to realize that they have to make sure that everything is good. So if there's a payment system, like we have a credit card or we have a debit card or we have a PayPal or a Venmo or any of these things, systems that are in place already, they just don't like get rid of everything. They improve upon that. They get rid of the stuff that doesn't work, and they improve upon it so that they can bridge it into Stellar. And so there's going to be a lot of different versatility for people who understand different platforms, or maybe they're not even banked and they've never seen a phone before. We got to realize that a lot of people aren't banked in this world. So they're able to either use email or phones to get to their money and push it through to payment systems. They're doing that in India right now. They're doing it in South America, etc. So this stuff is coming, and we just don't have enough public disclosure at the moment. But if you're in it sooner than later, you'll gain some rewards from that because you're in it when it was very low. Now, when XLM goes up or these stocks come in and the public disclosure happens, they're going to evaluate higher. So you're going to lose that opportunity. And it is a great opportunity, probably once in a lifetime.
Yeah, I need that because, Dom, I got to buy some stuff, and yeah, I need some things like some shoes and more purses.
If you've ever thought about being a humanitarian and helping out other people, what is a better way to do that than to create some wealth for yourself and your family? Maybe it's just humanitarian that you want to take care of a friend or a family member or somebody that you really care about in your neighborhood. You want to be able to improve their lives, and that's what it's all about. It's about people helping people, peer-to-peer networking.
Gotcha. And I think the important thing too is when you, just as I found out, just giving money away and helping people in a temporary way does actually help them. If they are having trouble and they don't have enough money for rent or they're about to get evicted, yeah, that is great. But I'm really, really about starting organizations that helps them stay out of that and get some education in finances and just learn to educate themselves and benefit them more, because honestly, it's not so much generational curses as it is, bad habits passed down through the generations, and people need to be educated a little bit more on how to handle things and what to do.
Yes, that's true. But I think the system has been designed against us for a long time, because if you look at all the middlemen that are taking their share of what you earn, so a bank has a certain amount of money they take. If you look at why don't we buy factory direct? I think I mentioned this before. Why don't we buy factory direct? Well, there's all these middlemen in between, and I'm not saying that has to go away, but all those type of middlemen inside of a system, basically take away or increase the profits for themselves, but take away the value from you. So we need to change that. And a lot of this machine learning that's going to go on inside of all the systems, it doesn't matter what you're looking at. It's all computerized. It's going to be machine learning, AI machine learning. So it's going to be able to do repetitive tasks faster, get rid of a lot of the mundane jobs that people do just to make a buck. And instead they can, make more money in terms of self-banking and have more money for themselves rather than getting fees drawn out from your bank. If you have money in your bank, they're using your money to make money for themselves. They're not there to, be humanitarians. They're there to make money. And so if you can do it all yourself, and then the AI inside of Stellar will help you do trading. As you asked before, there's going to be algorithms that help you create more wealth for yourself so you can get that interest payment. You can live off the interest of your investments, as opposed to always having to keep putting more money into the system. The system is going to be giving you the options that you need. And there's going to be many, many different things inside of Stellar to help you get to that point where you can live comfortably and not have to do a job that you don't want to do. I think that's a big thing. We don't look at how we treat ourselves. We just go to a job and we dislike it and we want to do something different, but we're kind of stuck in that position. And the only thing that is keeping us from doing what we want to do is the financial burden of it. So if we can do that from a perspective of, okay, I've got extra money, I can take care of myself for a longer period of time. I don't really need to work as much. I think we're going to see work weeks scale back, unless you're doing something you really love, and then you can do it. And then you can do it and not have to worry about that financial aspect of it. And I think that's really important to kind of ingrain into people, because this is really what it's about.
Like podcasting. We love podcasting.
I'm not, I was going to say, I don't think we could scale back. Maybe we could delegate more, but then that would just bring more work for us. So I don't know.
No, I'm down with recording all damn day and then just have somebody else do all the hard work.
That would be good. Yeah. That would be good. I don't think people get it, because I was just talking to somebody about it today and they're like, yeah, but how hard is it? You just go in and shoot and then you're done. I said, no. I said, I'm doing research. I'm talking to people. I'm advertising a week. I'm chit chatting back and forth on conversations purposely. It's like, it's not just this cuteness.
But I'll tell you this. It's interesting. I retired a couple years ago, and I didn't realize how much I enjoyed. So I'm a musician by heart, I should say, not trade, but heart. And I love doing music, and I've been doing it a long time. And it's a much different experience when I come into this, recording studio that I have, and I'm working on something, and I'm not thinking about financial aspects. I'm not thinking about anything other than creating something that's good, either for another client. And, of course, you get paid for that, but it's something that you enjoy doing. And maybe you're not making as much as you want, but it's something that you enjoy.
Fulfilling.
And if that, it's fulfilling. It makes your heart, happy, right? I hate to say that, but it's true.
I feel that way about podcasting. I mean, because I don't ever think about the financial part of it. We just have fun and we do it. And I don't think I think about money ever.
Right. So, we're looking at, as I said before, just trying to make the world a better place. And how can you do that? Well, you have to give people the resources and the ability to do something very simple, which is take care of their own money. Make it easy for somebody to pay for something, for peer-to-peer, as I said before, like a business to your bank account, link it directly. A stock to your bank account, link it directly. There's no in-between person. There's no wealth manager, financial person. There's no E-Trade. There's none of that stuff, because you're basically creating a trust line between you and the company. And
Right.
Yeah.
well, that's really important.
With that being said, and kind of to piggyback on something that Tiffany said earlier, when it comes to like not knowing how to do this, do you think that there's going to be a time period where we're going to have someone show it to us? We've been lucky enough to meet you and to
Right.
and to get things from you. But when it comes to the average Joe, when this starts moving into that realm, is there going to be companies popping up that
Yes, I
are,
think.
oh, we'll educate you on the Stellar. Come on in, spend money
Yeah.
with us to educate you on Stellar. And then
Yes,
we'll take 1% from the rest of your life. No, I don't know.
No, I think maybe initially there will be some banks that will be kind of giving you some of that information, and maybe have some wealth managers, because when they flood the system with a lot of the money, we're talking hundreds of trillions of dollars here that are going to funnel. It's everything in the financial system, so it might even be more than that. And you have to be able to make it accessible to people. So whether it's an application on a phone, or whether it's an email system, or whether it's a phone system where they can pay very easily. And I brought up India before, and there was an article this week on India, and even the grocers in the streets are using applications on their phones to get payments. So it's easier than having a set, if you've gone into a restaurant, right, they have the computer screen there, and you've got to wave your phone over it, and you've got to do all this stuff, as opposed to, here's my phone, here's your phone, boom, I can just it's just done. There's nothing. I've seen Stellar in some of these payment systems already, and they're extremely fast. I mean, if you pay with a credit card, it's gone in immediately. It's just done. And that's the speed that we're going to see from these payment systems. And if you remember the old
you've
days,
got AI in the background checking it all.
right? Exactly. You've got the Atom computer, ATOM, which is regulating all this and looking for not so nice people doing bad things with the system. So you've got anti-money laundering, you've got security that is going to be incredible on the system, so that you're biometrically, and people get scared about that, but we already do that with our phones, right? You put your
100%.
thumbprint on,
Right.
and you
Exactly.
have Face ID, etc., right?
Yeah.
And all that's going to be locked into your IP address, or quantum satellites, etc. So all this stuff is happening. And getting back to your question about how we're going to learn about this, there's a great site. It's called Quantum Stellar Initiative at qsiresources.com. Okay. And it's on Telegram. That's the only place it is. Quantum Stellar Initiative. Please go there. There's a training course if you want to learn about this. I highly recommend it. It's who I follow. And they have the community of 50,000 people in it. And there's a chat room, and I'm not sure how many people are in the chat right now, but people are always looking at what's going on in the financial markets in different countries. It's not just the US. So you get people from India, you get people from Asia, etc., all over the world, and they're finding these articles on what's going on in the financial markets, and they're trying to piece together when things are going to happen. And it's great because they work with developers that are with Stellar Russia, they're with SPIA, which is out of Switzerland. There's Tokens Foundation, which is the U.S. military. So there's a lot of developers that are working with this particular training group. And I have to give a shout out to Emily Tang. She's wonderful. She's the host and she's done a lot. And there's a number of other people that are on there that are experts in the financial field, and it's just a great place to learn about things. And I highly recommend that, to go there and learn about it. And you can learn about Lobstr. It's great. It's really great. It's not
and that's
difficult.
on Telegram.
Yes, that's on Telegram. You have to get the Telegram app, and then there are different. There's always a scam channel out there, but it's Quantum Stellar Initiative. Just make sure you go to the right one. They have 50,000 followers. So
okay,
I just wanted to plug them because it's really good.
Yeah,
so.
No, everyone needs to know, and I really feel that everyone needs to know about this. And my thought is, we're doing this show. This is our second run with a Stellar Update with Dom. And if anybody wants to come to me afterwards and be like, why didn't you tell us? You know what? I actually had it on the internet. I did an entire 2 episodes. Maybe by the time everything switches over, it'll be like 3 or 4. And I mean, seriously, though, I'm sticking strong to that, because I have brought it up to people and gotten no response. And I'm like, you know what? This is on you. This is on you,
It's not like you're not going to be able to get into it, because you're going to be a part of it anyways. It's all going into that, no matter what. So it's sort of like, do you really feel as though it's important to you at this point in time? If it's not, then that's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll eventually get into it, because it's kind of, everything is combined.
But you're not going to reap the benefits.
Well, you probably will get some benefits within a year, but not like if you're in. It's the people that kind of are in the first. You're dipping your toe in the water. You're the first one to dip your toe in the water. Maybe go up waist deep. Maybe you're up to your neck. But you just want to try it. And you're willing to take that chance that hey, the water's going to get better. It's going to be calm, etc. I've already been through a whole bunch of stuff in terms of things going up and down, and it's because it's illiquid right now. And so once the liquidity comes in, and I think it'll be over time, it's just not all going to be at once. It's going to be over time, because they have to sort of make it graceful and make sure people understand it before everything kind of just gets plopped in there. So I think over time, and there's a lot of development that's going to happen next year as well, but we'll be seeing some more of the liquidity come in as of November, December.
Well, today I was over at a buddy's house and helping him with something really quick, and I mentioned that we're recording today today with Dom, and had just told him, it's gonna, we're really excited. It's our second episode with about the Stellar Network, and I just call it crypto, right? And he's like, oh, and he said something about Bitcoin and how it's really taken a big dive and stuff like that. And I said, and so I'm going to get to my question in a second, but what he mentioned was, I said to him, like, well, the one thing I learned from Dom the first show was that the Stellar Network is backed by real things like metals, gold,
precious metals,
silver,
commodities,
commodities. Like and he was like, oh, and like he had never heard it. He's like, oh, it is. And I go, yeah, it's backed by real stuff. And he's like, well, that's interesting. And I go, yeah, you've not heard of Stellar Network yet? And he's like, no. So it's not out there right now. You know what I mean? So if you are hearing this, I mean, go do your homework and do some research, because as Dom is explaining, things are coming, right? So my question to you is if I'm talking about Stellar Network and what I'm doing inside of what we have learned, and I'm just calling it crypto, should I start calling it Stellar to start small, short, minimally educating people that there's something new out there coming? Or like,
I think you call it a digital asset. I think that's a better term. Crypto is sort of a generic term. It's sort of like calling an aspirin a medicine.
Kleenex.
That's Kleenex or whatever. But it's not really specific to anything. Whereas a digital asset has some type of asset backing to it. So it's a tokenized asset. So whether it's gold or silver, it's tokenized. So the value of that is going to be in that token. And because that's the way they set it up, there has to be a hard asset behind it. As I said before, the SEC is going to go away. They're going to be minimized, and you're already seeing that in these cases where they're making the SEC look really bad and incompetent and doing a lot of illegal things that they've done, where they took XRP and put them through this whole mess. And it's sort of a thing where the SEC is going to go away. The CFTC, which is the the commodities exchange, they're going to oversee what is inside of Stellar because it's all commodities. It's all based on an asset. And then from that, they're going to go into the AI machine learning is going to look at everything inside of Stellar. And then there will be a governance layer of people that basically set the standards for what's going on inside of Stellar. So there'll be a human aspect to it, but it'll be more of a governance thing with a small group of people that understand Stellar intimately and can make sure that things aren't, going sideways. And I think the AI is going to be able to do all that stuff very quickly. So, that's the whole premise of it. I'm trying to think of another thing that's come up. When I was talking about bridges and getting in kind of early, and what's happening is all of these different things that are coming into Stellar. There's a payout if you hold some of these assets, and they're called bridge assets, and they're on the induspayments.com exchange, which is part of Stellar. You can get them inside of Stellar. And what they do is every time money is funneled from the, we'll say is on-ramped into Stellar, you get part of that tokenization fee. So this is like trillions of dollars of monies that are going to be coming in. And I gave you one of those, Tiff, a while back. Remember I gave you a 1 million XRP bridge?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's probably,
and I know I have a lot of pending that came in that are all the 6VU stuff that I have to go through and look at. And I've been watching it show up on my email, and I'm like, I haven't had a chance to get to it. Yeah.
Well, there's a number of bridges, and what's happening is people that get in early, what they've decided to do is give some of that, a percentage of that money in terms of tokens back to the people that are holding these bridge assets, because they want people to be able to use these things, and the developers want to ensure that the data is correct that's coming in. And so that's
this
sort of
says BGI. I thought I just got one today. That's what I was checking, but it's not. It says BGI. Go ahead, Tom. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
But no, it's okay. But there's ones for XLM, there's XRP, and there's gold bridge. And I think there's 130 gold bridges. For one XLM, what I was saying before is one XLM, which is 12 cents, you can buy 10 million of these tokens. Okay. And it's very easy to do. And so you can load your wallet for very little money. There's another one called SGB, which is sovereign gold bonds. And that's going to be a really big one as well. And you can buy for very little money, I think less than $10, maybe even $2, you can buy billions of these tokens. And they're going to be revaluated. And it seems implausible that this is happening, but it's true, and it's happening.
So where do we find out which tokens that we can buy a bunch of them for one XLM?
I'll give you something to post. Okay.
Okay.
Because the way that things are working right now is there's a centralized exchange, which we talked about, which is Wall Street, and there's a decentralized exchange, which is what the Stellar network is built off of. So there's this decentralized listing, and it's called you can go to sdexexplorer.com. So sdexexplorer.com. And what that is, it will list all the different tokens inside of Stellar, and you can look them up by domain name. And so what I can do is I can forward you the domains that are valid, and you can look at all the different tokens that are on those, and you can purchase them directly from that exchange. There's a trade function. It will take you to your Lobstr wallet. You'll open your Lobstr wallet in a web app, on whatever Explorer or whatever, and then you can purchase them right there, and you can set your price. And I think most of them come up with one XLM is 10 million of them. So you can actually start, building your portfolio, and it's, most people think that you have to have a lot of money to do this. You don't need a lot of money to do this. Even if you only have $20 or $30, or you're not going to go to Starbucks or whatever, or do your normal thing, put that money and just, be a pioneer of this, because it's coming, and you'd be amazed at what is going to happen in the future. I really do believe that this is once in a lifetime kind of opportunity for people to get in. And you don't have to get in, as I said, you don't have to get in right away, but if you get in early, there may be more opportunity for you to get more out of it. And you'll be seeing this more and more. I suggest to everybody, when you go to pay something at a store, at a restaurant, look to see if it says, look what it says on the point of sale, monitor that they have there. And if it's really fast, ask them just look to see if it says Stellar on there, because I would be surprised if it doesn't say that. Either that, or it's a bridge into Stellar, because everything is going into Stellar. So, sometimes they say Stellar, and sometimes they say other companies like Vend. Stripe is part of it. I'm trying to think of the other on-ramping, Zelle. All these different companies are coming into Stellar, and it's just a bright, beautiful world that we're coming into, because it's going to be revolutionize everything.
Well, and major companies have already shifted their funds out of the stock market into the Stellar market.
Yes, BlackRock has been tokenizing about 1,000 different funds, and I think that was in Bloomberg. So these are major media, and this has been over a year they've been doing this. And we've got Fidelity, Vanguard, PayPal, a lot of Russian, Chinese, South American companies, a lot of mining, a lot of companies Twitter, which is now X, which is part of Stellar, which is Elon's, and Jed McCaleb. They're kind of, Jed McCaleb was the founder, one of the co-founders of Ripple and Stellar. So he's sort of kind of ambiguous guy, but he's working with these, with Elon, et cetera, and they're building this platform. X is going to be a payment platform. And today there was another company that does, that's doing social media, and social media is bridging into Stellar as well, because you can put payment platforms inside of, let's say, X, and you could be able to pay for things right there. And Elon's already said, and this was another thing that came up in the last 2 months, that it's going to be a huge payment platform. So you're going to be able to do a lot of things inside of your Twitter account, and it's going to be focused more on business rather than as social media. So it's more of an outlet for business. And Elon's already put in his own Stellar assets. He's got probably 200 different assets. So these are all things that are online for people to invest in. And a lot of those things pay out interest, anywhere from 5 to 30% interest, some even higher than that. So you're going to be seeing quite a bit just for holding the tokens. They're paying you every day. And that's just incredible. If you think you get paid every day and you're holding 10,000 tokens, what's that going to be worth with the fact that XLM is going to go up in value? It could be extremely lucrative for the person holding these items. And then, if people aren't interested in it, you could buy some for your family. If they're not interested in it yet, buy some for them. It's not going to, you're not going to be, destitute from buying $5 worth of something, but maybe you have a couple million tokens, and then you can hand it down to your family once they get their Stellar wallet. It's just very easy to do. It's not rocket science. They try to make it as easy as possible for people to understand, be sovereign, have your own bank inside of an application, so that you can live the way that you want to live. It's really important. So
wow, that's it's becoming more clear as we talk about it more. Like the first time we ever talked, it was just a bunch of mumbo jumbo in my head, and then we started doing stuff back and forth, and then that came a little more clear, and then now this conversation, it's like, wow, we really need to dive. I need to dive into this. deep.
It's like getting an application on your phone and you're going, why do I need this application? And then you're looking at it. Okay, wow, that's kind of cool. That does that's filter on here on my photo. Oh, I can do that. I could stretch that person's head like that. Oh, that's cool. I can do this. I can turn it black and white or whatever. The other thing I want to say is they've totally revamped stellar.org. So that's this main Stellar site. And there's an actor, and I can never say his name. He's been in a lot of the Marvel movies. But he's doing commercials for Stellar now. So he's a big time actor, and he is.
That's Matt Damon.
No, Matt Damon's not in Marvel.
No.
Oh, you're right. He's not in Marvel. No, but I thought I saw Matt Damon talk about something.
He does talk about things.
No.
He does. I mean, I've seen him. Yeah.
Let me just look here.
No, I could have sworn he was. I thought I remember seeing a commercial with him like walking on the Stellar emblem.
Well, I mean, it could be more than one person doing it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Anyways, I would highly recommend going to the Stellar site, stellar.org, and just taking a look around, even if you are hesitant about this, because they just redid the whole thing and they're bringing out more and more information on Stellar and what it's going to be. You can look at all the protocols that they have put into place. So this is some serious stuff. So I'm very excited about it.
Well, I think it's really actually pretty exciting. I'm really normally way more involved with my Lobstr wallet than I have been these last couple of weeks. And I'm always checking my pendings and doing whatever you've taught me. But I'm really excited about where it's going. And I put in quite a bit of money, and I'm still putting in. I think we talked about that before. I wanted to put in another 12 grand. I mean, my whole goal was really to buy Bitcoin. I was going to buy Bitcoin. I was going to buy a couple Ethereum. And so instead of doing that, I'm just putting it into the Lobstr wallet. But I have that issue with MoneyGram, so I have to do it the other way because it still blocked all my stuff from the bank because the bank blocked. What happened is the bank wouldn't approve the transfer. So then MoneyGram said, well, if your bank won't approve it, we're going to block you. So I have to go through it another way, which means I can only put in $950 at a time per day.
Correct.
So every day I'm just like putting money in. What the heck?
This is the problem. The banks don't want you to do this, and they're making it very difficult. I use something called MoonPay, which is part of inside of the Lobstr wallet but if your bank doesn't accept it, I've got a workaround. I have to continually do it. The fraud department calls me. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and it's the same thing over and over again, but you eventually get to put your money in, and you've got to find a way to get it in there, or if you have a friend that can get it, and then you can send them the money and you get the XLM. That's another way to do it. Just so that you have something, and then you can start investing inside of anything that you want inside the Stellar network, which is of value, as opposed to your fiat dollar that really doesn't have any value. It's not backed by anything. Our dollar is not backed by anything.
Yeah. You just you're hoping it goes up. Right.
And what does the bank pay you? 0.2% interest.
Right.
So,
since we went there,
aren't doing great right now.
Since we went there, because I didn't know, because that was going to be a question of mine, but I was going to wait till after. But since Tiffany asked that question and mentioned it, one thing I do and what I've been doing is, because it was so easy to transfer my Coinbase crypto over to Stellar XLM. I just do, and I can set up my Coinbase is like bam, like it's like,
and you can do it like that,
and it's on autopilot, right? It's on this much money every Friday, boom, every Friday, boom, right? Yeah. And then I just remember every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I need to go in, and because it's still, and I actually am buying XLM inside of Coinbase. Well, and so then when I transfer it over, if it's grown, it's bringing over the growth.
Correct.
It's not, or if it's shrunk. I mean, it's, it went down once, but it's one of those things where it because Coinbase is such a solid platform to purchase things in right now, and the Moon Pie or whatever it's called seems a little like you guys are both like saying stuff about it that it's tough sometimes. So I just started doing stuff inside of Coinbase. Yeah. and
Yeah,
Coinbase isn't, you know.
yeah. So if you have that, that's great. And within Coinbase, let's say you bought XRP or you bought another crypto inside of Coinbase, you can switch it inside of Coinbase to XLM and then push
Right.
that XLM into the Stellar network, and then you're able to buy inside of the Stellar exchange. So all
Right.
those different companies open up for you instead of, a crypto exchange which has crypto. It doesn't have all the
Right.
digital assets inside of Stellar. That's the biggest part of it.
Right.
And that's very smart that you did that. That's a very good way of doing it. And I know initially they were having some problems with, hey, you're smart. No, they were having some issues with it and they were holding on to that, but they got that all straightened out. There was a waiting period for people that bought XLM to put it into their wallet. It was like 30 days or something, but that was last year, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's
came
very
over quick.
quick and people can just buy as much as they want in that exchange. And I would highly recommend just exchanging out some of those tokens that you have, push it into Lobstr, and see what you have. The other thing I want to say, and I mentioned this to you, I think you had texted me about Ledger Nano. What's going to happen just with XRP? If people are holding XRP, be aware that what they're doing is they're upgrading these systems, and they're making it so that they want to push people into getting rid of their XRP and putting it into the Stellar network. What's going to happen is XRP is going to, the value is going to go lower than what XLM is. This is what I believe. And then if you have a cold storage wallet, you need to keep upgrading it. At some point, you're not going to be able to take your XRP off of your wallet. And it's going to sit there and it's going to be unusable. So let's say you have $5,000 worth of XRP. You've just lost the value of that XRP. Okay. But if you had put it into the Stellar network, that $5,000, it's at 60 cents. So that's roughly around 4, maybe a little bit less than 4 XLM per XRP. You could have all that and then invest that into multiple different assets and tokenize in real estate and everything. It's just, you're limiting yourself to one thing and hoping the sort of the hopium of this thing is going to make me a lot of money, as opposed to, hey, put it into something and diversify everything so that it's a better investment overall. So,
are we even thinking that Ethereum is going to be going up any longer, or what are our thoughts on those cryptocurrencies?
I think they're going to be all bridged over into Stellar, and what the value is going to be, because they're not backed by anything. Remember,
right?
Everything in Stellar is going to be backed by something. I think there will be a little bit of value, but it's not going to be much, if at all, anything. So I would.
Oh, sorry.
I would hesitate to say. I don't know how they're playing this out in terms of the people, legitimate businesses and people that are using Bitcoin. I'm sure there will be some type of reparation to that, but large businesses that are holding this stuff, I don't really think that you're going to be seeing much value in it. Unfortunately, I think there's going to be a large transfer of all those things into
But doesn't Bitcoin hold its value and all those cryptocurrencies because of how they work on the black market? So that's not really going to go away there, because that's where it started from and that's what it was used for. And now they've just made it more public. So it seems like, oh yeah, everyone who has Bitcoin is not bad now. So so I'm just saying it's still going to hold that value because of where it's used in the market.
I think it's going to go away. I think it's going to go away over time because, you can't just shut something off. You have to slowly get rid of it. So the value of it's going to keep decreasing over time. People are going to look at it and say, why am I holding this? Why am I doing this? Stellar is so much better. I can invest in stuff. I can pay for things. There's nothing linked to any type of bad stuff because it's all anti-money laundering. So all of that Bitcoin that's been taken from, we'll call them black hats, people that were doing bad things and pushed into Stellar, that's going to be a wealth transfer for people that are inside of Stellar, everybody that gets into Stellar. So, and the other thing is, if you see things that say scam assets inside of Stellar, they're still working out a lot of these technical things where anybody inside of Stellar who has a wallet can say, hey, this is an asset that's bad, even though it's not bad. They can just, because it's an open source thing. So don't take that as something in stone. Okay. Take it with a grain of salt, because somebody could not like that particular thing, or they want to capitalize on that. A lot of people want to capitalize day trading. They want to run the price up, and then they want to dump it really fast. So and after they dump it, or maybe it goes up really high and they say, oh, this is a scam asset. So people start dumping their stock and they buy it very low, even though it's a good asset. So just be aware of those kind of things happen. They're going to get rid of all that. All the scam assets are going to go away, and the scam assets that have value, people invested in, and scammers took your money. What they're going to be able to do is go back and do a clawback on those people. So they're going to be able to blacklist their wallet, take all the money out of that wallet and give it back. It's going to be what they call cheesecake. It's going to be given back to people who have invested, as long as you have the good intention of that. So that's an anti-money laundering support that is done in the protocols inside of Stellar. And that's the difference between Stellar and other blockchains. They have all these, I think there's 40 different protocols, and they're all about doing things right, because you have a global financial system that's being affected by this. So you have to have a lot of regulation inside of it so that everything works appropriately, and the AI knows what to feed off of and how to learn these things. But for right now, we're kind of dealing with that, but I'm telling you, it's coming. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. And I'm glad you guys have joined and are doing this, because I think we'll all be laughing next year.
I need to do it more.
No, I really do like it. Right. Yeah, I need to put go to my pendings, because I got a lot in there that I haven't. Well, and some of them automatically go over because we have them, they're already in the wallet. But I know I get the email say, hey, you have this in your pending.
Yeah. So what the pending is if you don't have the asset in your wallet, let's say you're sending it to somebody who has got a Lobstr wallet, they don't necessarily know what the asset is, but you say, I want to send you some Apple stock. Okay. What happens is, because there's no what they call a trust line set up, so you don't have the actual asset in your wallet, it just sits in your pendings file. And so that my wallet is such and such a name, and I can that I'm that person, and so you can accept it. Now, if you already had the asset, and let's say Tiff had some Apple already in there, and I say, well, I've got some extra. I got 100 extra Apple stock, or 1,000, whatever. I'm going to give it to her. I could just send it to her, and it'll automatically go into her wallet. So that's really quick and easy. So there's no scamminess there. You can decide what's in your wallet, what's not in your wallet, and you can remove things as well. There's always a removal process of anything that you want. If you get rid of something, you sell it off, you don't like it, you want to get into another asset that's got a higher rate of return, then you can do that. And it's a very quick swap inside of it. Or you could sell it to somebody on the other side of the world through the AI, and you could set your price and you wait for the AI to accept that price when they match it to somebody else. So is it just a totally different way of doing it? Yeah. Right. So, but any other questions?
All right. I think it's, once again, you filled my brain full of all kinds of swimming now, right? Yes. Which is good. Yes. We gotta, our brains gotta hurt to grow, right? So that's great. So, I don't think I have any more questions. Tiffany, do you? I just want to make sure
I love the catch up updates, and I think this was really good information. I'm pretty excited where we're going. I know we'll have a couple more episodes too. So I'm really looking forward to everything going on. Yeah.
Well, Dom, thanks again for coming on, and
thank you very much
for
having me.
To any of the stuff that Dom mentioned will be down in the show notes, the .coms and the .orgs and those things that he mentioned. If you don't know what Telegram is, I think that's another one you probably need to start looking into, because a lot of people are doing Telegram now. It's almost like, it's becoming a new Facebook, but not even close to Facebook. It's really weird. It's almost more like a WhatsApp than anything. So if you don't know what Telegram is, but you know what WhatsApp is, go get Telegram too, because a lot of stuff's moving to that.
Yes. I want to say one last thing. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Telegram and WhatsApp, all these social media platforms are going to have payment systems in them. So you're going to see, and they're all going to be based off the Stellar network. So you're going to see Telegram with a payment system. X is going to have a payment system. WhatsApp already has a payment system. It's in China already. So you're going to see this. So it's going to be very easy for people to now. And I think that's to answer your question
a
from
payment
earlier.
System like Facebook has, because I've paid people through Facebook.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Exactly. So you're going to see that same kind
That's
of.
That's really good. Yeah. That's really cool. That's exciting, because one thing that I do is voiceover, and I do a lot of work for voice for people in different countries. And it'll be great once this happens, because I'd be like, just pay me on Stellar, or, just pay me on, whatever, pay me on Telegram, like it'll be just another option to get paid. Right now I've got like Apple Pay, and I've got Venmo, and I used to have Zelle, but my bank stopped supporting
That's so
Zelle.
weird.
There you go.
That's so weird.
Banks getting in the way.
Yeah.
That's,
Yep. About a year ago. Yeah,
is it a Canadian bank? Because I know Canada doesn't do that.
No, it's Kemba Financial Credit Union.
Wow.
I think maybe it's because it's a credit union. So, but
Oh,
alrighty, everybody.
word.
Well, this is great. Like I said, we could talk all night just learning this information, and it's just one bite at a time. You eat the elephant one bite at a time, right? So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to tell your friends if you hear some of this stuff and you know somebody that's into this sort of thing or needs to get into this sort of thing. Share our episode with them. Share any of our episodes with them if you hear something that is definitely hit you and want to share. So. Once again, I'm the producer of the Elite Few podcast. My name's Kyle Goodnight. Of course, my hostess with the mostest, Tiffany Feeney. Take it away, Tiffany, and sign us out.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us again. We're always so excited to have you with us, learning new things, finding out great information. And I want you all to stay fabulous and join us for our next episode. See you soon.